One of the terrible things as we close out this week that I think has gone on in Christianity, in modern psychobabble Christianity, is this concept of we need to have self-esteem. I think self-esteem is one of the great deceptions that the enemy has used against the church to teach us that we need to exalt ourselves. We need to be the righteous ones. We need to think that we have everything under control. And the moment that you say to anyone, and that's why I bring so much trouble on myself, just being honest with that, is because I'm way too transparent and way too real. And I say, I'm struggling, folks. And everybody's like, oh, you ought to be Christ-like. You ought to be holy. You ought to be righteous. You ought to be past all of those things. Yeah. Let's live in the real world. We have deceived ourselves into believing that the way that we need to fix all of our problems is to have self-esteem. And that is not what I am talking about. That in itself will become a stronghold in your life if you are driven by self-esteem. I don't have self-esteem. I have God-esteem. God is the one that I can count on, not myself. And self-esteem will often, most of the time, bring me into self-centeredness, which will be absolutely destructive in your life in ways that you can't imagine. When you get self-centered, it will destroy your spiritual relationship, because God does not want us self-centered. God wants us God-centered, Christ-centered. That is what we should be. In the same respect, I have dealt with so many people, and I talked about unforgiveness earlier in the sense of unforgiveness towards others. Maybe the hardest thing to try to teach someone is not forgiving others, but forgiving themselves. They will hold things against themselves that they have done or said or been for years and years to come. I was recently at a men's meeting, and they asked a question, and out of that question, I gave an answer that some of you have heard me say in messages. When I was younger, I was not a nice person, and you certainly wouldn't have been listening to me give messages about your life. And I really had to come to a place of really just forgiving myself. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you been in that situation? Maybe you've done something that you just don't think God can ever forgive you for. Hang in there, because we're going to stay on that one for another session, and that will be next week. Thank you for watching. God bless you.